conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So today we are going to start the first class of the statistics. Okay. We're going to discuss with respect to the statistics as a skill from today. So the flow of the statistics classes, it is going to be completely mathematical side of the things. There is no kind of software we are going to use for statistics. No tool is used. Like in the rest of the skills, like we have some tools at least, but in the statistics there is no tool is used. And we're going to discuss the complete mathematical side of formulas that can be related to the averages, standard deviation, variance, like a lot of things related to the mathematical side of the domain we are going to discuss in this class. So the estimated duration for the statistics is 6 hours of class is the estimation time. 6 or 7 hours like that is the estimated time. So we will discuss the complete statistics in 6 to 7 classes. It will be very short kind of course only, but we'll try to make it little interesting and also making you people in mathematical side of doing it. So these statistics, first of all, before I explain you the direct formulas, I wanted you to understand what is the role of statistics in data analysis. Why do we need to learn statistics? Okay. So the importance of statistics is integrated with each and every skill of data analysis course. For example, let me say you want to do some analysis in Python and you wanted to do what is the average of sales or what is the distribution of the sales across the column. So you wanted to understand some of the things that are related to the side of the companies, how they are going to do some kind of statistical summary. At that time you are going to involve with the things related to the statistics. Okay, just give me a minute guys, sorry. Sorry guys. So we are discussing about the role of statistics. So see, as I mentioned, statistics is involved with each and every skill that we are currently discussing in the data analysis course. As I mentioned, when you go to any company, when they're asking you to find out what is the average of sales, so you no need to write down the formula and derive the things, because it is not possible to do the calculation for such large amounts of data. But still, why we are going to discuss is you should know what is average is meant by first, what is standard deviation is, what is variance is, some of the basic understanding you should have for those functions. Of course, when you go for the Python, Power BI, SQL, there already functions are available for you to calculate all the statistical summary. But still, we need to understand what is the business understanding of average, what is the business understanding of the count, what is the business understanding of the standard deviation, those things. That is what we are going to understand in the statistics. Okay, we're going to spend these 6 to 7 hours of time to understand what is the business understanding of every kind of softwares. Sorry guys, Ashwin, can you please check your mic? Sorry. So that kind of understanding, if you wanted to get, the statistics is the skill which is helping us. So what are the kind of main things that we can understand is the statistics is essential. Okay, is essential in data analysis, because it helps us uncover the patterns, the trends, or else you can consider as insights. Okay, it is integrated with each and every skill that we are going to discuss in this data analysis course. So I wanted to understand what is the key role of statistics in the data analysis. What is the key role of statistics in the data analysis? So here the first one is for data summarization. Okay, for finding out the data summary, nothing but statistical summary also we used to use in so many places. For that the statistics is needed. And here for decision making purpose, okay, for the decision making purpose, and for the pattern detection purpose, and also for the error detection purpose, we will be going to use these statistics in our day-to-day life as a data analyst. So along with this, you are going to understand in today's class mostly related to what type of data we are going to handle in the entire data analysis, or particularly in this particular statistics also. So you will get a better clarity regarding the types of data in today's class. What is the types of data? So generally speaking, there is two types of data: numerical data, text data. Mostly, of course, date information, those things will be there. But what is the most important types of data is just two types: numerical and also the text data. So I'm going to use some new technology to represent it. So when I'm talking about the numbers, I'm going to call it as quantitative data. Okay, quantitative data in the sense quantity related, that is numbers related data. So what is the first type of data we have is quantitative data. Quantitative data. What is this quantitative data is also called as the numerical data. The numerical data. So what is the second type of data we are going to have is the descriptive data, or I can also call it as qualitative data. So we have so much kind of meaning for this. Just understand it's a text related data. Easy way of understanding numerical data and text data, we call it as quantitative and qualitative data. So when it comes to this, it's very straightforward understanding, but again in the numerical data there are two types, and same in the text data also there are two types. So we are going to understand what are those. First type in this is going to be, let me write it here. The first type of information under this quantitative data can be two types related to the continuous information and the discrete type of information. Okay. So the first type here I'm going to call it is discrete data. Okay. Under the numerical data, we have one type is discrete data. What is meant by discrete data in the sense? A fixed amount of numbers that are present in that particular range. For example, I'm asking you, can you tell me how many number of students are there in the class? What you'll do, you'll count it 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. By the end, you'll be able to say that 30 students are there, or 100 students are there, or 1 lakh students are there. You're able to say one number to me. That is called as discrete data. So whatever the number you are able to say, that is finite number. Always when I say there is no possibility of having any infinite kind of numbers possible in this discrete data. Always the discrete data would be finite in number, and that would be what? Countable. If a number is finite, or if it is countable in nature, okay, if it is countable in nature, we call that type of information as the quantitative in that discrete data. Number itself is a quantitative, but if that number is a countable, or if it is a finite in nature, we will consider that as a discrete data. So countable and finite. So what is the best example to understand this discrete data is, as I mentioned, number of students in a class. How many number of students are there in a class? If you wanted to understand, then you can consider that is a discrete data. Same way, when it comes to the next data type, which is going to be the continuous data. Okay. Next type of data is going to be the continuous data under the same quantitative information. So what is meant by continuous data? Infinite numbers which are not countable. So I'll tell you some small example. If I ask you there are how many numbers present between 5 and 10, you'll say 5 is there, 6 is there, 7 is there, 8 is there, 9 is there, like that. You'll say 5 numbers are there between 5 and 10. But is it correct information like only 5 numbers are present between 5 and 10? There are infinite numbers are possible. How it is possible? Suppose if I ask you how many numbers are there between 4 and 5, there are no numbers between 4 and 5, you will say. But there are infinite numbers are possible. What are those? Decimal numbers. That is 4.1 I can say, 4.12 I can say, 4.13 I can say, 4.14 I can say. Like this, if I keep on writing, so many decimal numbers I can include in any number. Because of that, I can't able to say there are how many numbers present between 4 and 5. That's the reason I'm saying when you're going to consider the very minute values also in between that, particular numbers, we will consider that as a continuous data. And continuous data is something which is infinite, and we can't able to say only these many numbers are there in that. So this is going to be infinite and not countable. So what is the best example for that? I'm asking you, can you please tell me what are the different types of temperatures I have in a day? What are the temperatures of a day? Today temperatures, if I ask you, you might say some 28 degrees. So it's not exactly 28, it might 28.1, 28.2, 28.3, or it can 30, 30.001, 30.00005. Like infinite number of values are there. But can you able to say same thing for number of students in a classroom? There is a count means you will only say one. You can't say 1.1, 1.12 like that. But in this particular scenario, you can able to say that continuous data with infinite number of values. That is the difference between the continuous data and the discrete data. So both of them are numbers only, but when you're going to consider the finite things, that would be considered as discrete data, and if some infinite number of possibilities are there, that information we call as continuous data. Okay, so try to remember that the types of data here is discrete and the continuous. Now, what about the next thing? I have something called as qualitative data. What is nothing but qualitative data? It is nothing but text data. So in that also again you have two types. In the text also again you have two types. So what is the first type is going to be the nominal data. First type is nominal data, and second type is going to be the ordinal data. Okay, nominal data and ordinal data. So how to understand this nominal data? In the sense, it is not going to follow a specific order to define your values in the form of a text. Best example I am asking you, please tell me 5 city names. Asking you what? Tell me 5 city names. So if I ask you the city names, suppose I am saying Kolkata is the first city, Delhi is the second city, and some Chennai is the third city, Hyderabad is the fourth city, or some Mumbai is the fifth city. Like that, I'm saying some city names starting with Kolkata to Mumbai. Suppose if I ask you what you will say, you may not say the same 5 city names I'm saying, and you're not going to follow the specific order also. You will say random city names. You may use the same cities, but in a different order you can use. And there is no rule that you need to only say Kolkata first. You can say anything at the first. So that is what I'm calling it, say nominal data, where there is no order is being followed. Okay, to tell these kind of text values, you're not going to follow any order. That is called as nominal. You can see, remember, NO stands for no order. No order in the sense nominal data. So in the nominal data, I can't able to keep numbers. Numbers are not possible over here. Numbers are completely in the quantitative data. But here, nominal data in the sense you should have some text first. In that text, it should be no order should be followed. Same, for example, what? City names. I'm asking you, tell me the fruit names. Some fruit names you tell me. If I ask you different names, you'll say. Some person might say some fruit names, some person might say different fruit names. So even though same fruit names they say order, they will not follow. That is called as nominal data. Most of the times you'll get nominal data in the scenarios. But you're also going to have one more thing called as another type, which is ordinal data. This is another type of data we have, ordinal data. As the name itself says, order you're going to follow here. Okay, specific order you're going to follow. What type of examples I can able to use to explain ordinal data? For example, I'm asking you, tell me the grades of the students. Student grades. You will say at the top A plus grade, A grade, B plus grade, B grade. So when I ask you to tell me the grades of the student, you will definitely follow this order. You will not say first of all fail and then again A plus and then again C grade and then again D plus. You won't follow these kind of things. Am I right? Generally, you can also consider one more example. For example, when I wanted to say about customer satisfaction level, suppose feedback, customer feedback. So what you will say? First of all, very satisfied, satisfied, or good, or unsatisfied, or worst. One follow one order to say. Another example can be the cloth sizes. The cloth size. If I ask you, tell me the different types of cloth sizes. The cloth sizes in the sense you will say, for example, small, medium, large, extra large. Like that you will able to say. You will not say small and again XL and then again medium. The particular order you are going to follow to say few things. That type of information is what I'm calling as ordinal data, where you're going to follow specific order to say the things. Okay, that is a type of information we call as ordinal data. So what are the examples for this? So cloth size, okay, and you can also say the customer feedback, okay, the feedbacks like that. Now I'm having one question for you. So I'm asking you, please tell me the different types of shoe sizes, different types of shoe or slippers or whatever the sizes. So what you'll say? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like that. So what is this information? Is it a quantitative or qualitative? Quantitative. That's the wrong answer. It's a qualitative. Okay. The reason is you might able to say because it's a number, so it's a quantitative data. But the reason is here why I'm considering it's a qualitative data, even though it's a number means you are able to follow specific order to say these things. Am I right? Suppose I am telling you a thing. There is some information. Let me just explain you a few things related to this. So let me say there is some small same shoe size shoe company is there, and what are the orders they're getting? They're storing. So there is some column called as order ID, and what is the kind of shoe company brand the person has been brought, and what about the shoe size, and also the sales of that particular order amount. So 1 and 2 3 like this I have something. So let me consider some Nike, Puma, or some Reebok, like this, some kind of shoe sizes. Here some person has brought 7, some person has brought 8, some person has brought 9, like that. And sales amount is, let me say, 100 and 150 and some 170, like this. Some sales amounts are there. Consider this is a lot of tables are there in the same way. Columns are being filled. Now my question is, here indirectly you can see, I mean directly you can say shoe as a value is what? It's a fixed information, and you can say anything in that particular place. So directly I can say is a qualitative data. What about sales? Don't get confused. Sales is a quantitative. There is no proper way to define it in the qualitative. There is no proper order also it will follow. It's a completely quantitative information. Now think about the order ID and think about the shoe size. The shoe size, why I am calling it is going to be a information called as qualitative. The reason is you are going to follow a specific order for this shoe size also. You will not say 7, 11, 9 and 8 like that randomly. You will follow specific order to say the shoe size. And also one more thing is these shoe sizes, even though you change it a little, it is not going to cause any impact on the business. Let's say in this place of shoe size, in the place of 7, if I write make 8 here, is there any change going to happen? It's not going to add any impact to the business. Suppose in the same place of sales, if I add 100 in the place of 50 rupees, that will cause impact, because why? Overall sales information is going to decrease. So sometimes some columns will be there in the numericals where those columns are not going to add much impact on your business. Just like this order ID also. This already, if it is 1 or 101, is there any change is going to happen for the business? No, nothing is going to happen. Only change when there happen is the brands, or it can be the sales values. So sometimes, even though it's a numerical column, if it is not going to add much value to your business, we'll consider those types of columns as the qualitative. Okay, always remember sales column, profit, quantities, the amount fields. These kind of things will never be becoming a qualitative. Always there will be quantitative only. Okay, so only rare scenarios, few exceptions will be there. The number data needs to be considered under the qualitative. Okay, most of the scenarios you can consider if you see a number, that is going to be what? Quantitative information only. You don't need to worry about it. As a basic example, it's a shoe size. Shoe sizes you can able to consider, that is under the ordinal data, even though you have some number. Okay, that is how you can understand the types of data. So two types of data you have, quantitative and qualitative. If it's a numerical data, it's a quantitative. If it's a text level information, it's a qualitative data. And under that quantitative data, again you have two types of information. One is discrete data and other one is going to be the continuous. In the discrete, you will be always going to consider the things related to the finite things, and you will be able to find out the number specifically without any issues. But in the continuous, there will be infinite number of possibilities are there, like height of the students. If I ask you what is the height of the student, there will be so many different students with different heights. Some student can be 155.5, some student can be 150.57, one person can be 160. So different types of heights and weight of the student. These types of informations you can consider as the continuous data. Okay, and the text related information would be considered as the qualitative. No text information will be in the quantitative. That is 100% rule. If you have one text related information is present under any column, 100% that will be qualitative. At least some numerical information can be in the qualitative, but no qualitative information, in the sense no text information would be considered under the quantitative. Okay, everything, if you have an alphabet in that, that will be qualitative undoubtedly. No confusion, no exceptions in that. Only exception is present for the numerical information. If the numerical information is going to follow some specific order, try to get it under the qualitative. That is how you can understand the overall concept of types of data. Okay, so now let us try to understand in our statistics what are the types of statistics we are going to discuss. Okay, so there are types of statistics present. Okay, there are some types of statistics are present. What are those types of statistics? Let us try to understand. The first type is going to be the descriptive statistics. Okay, the first types of statistics is descriptive, and the second type is going to be the inferential. Okay, inferential statistics. These are the two types of statistics. Let us see what is the difference between the descriptive and the inferential statistics. You'll also get to know which types of statistics as a data analyst is needed by the end of this few minutes of time. Okay, so when I talk about the descriptive statistics, it is used to describe the summary of data. Okay, it is used for what? It summarizes and describes the data. It summarizes and describes your data under the descriptive statistics. So for doing this one, we are going to follow, whenever you're going to follow to find out the summarize and describes the data, you can also understand describes, let me say otherwise, describes the main features of the data set, and also it is going to help us in making some conclusions for your data set. Making some conclusions in the sense finding out, okay, this is what is happening in this particular data. That like that you can able to conclude something by performing this descriptive statistics. Okay. Now what about inferential statistics is, as descriptive statistics is going to help us in understanding the summary, your inferential statistics is going to help us in predicting what is going to happen in the future. Okay. So the inferential statistics is used for, it will analyze, it will analyze sample of data to make predictions, to make predictions, or else we can also call it as inferences about a large population, about a large population. So carefully observe. Inferential statistics, I will tell you simple example. So mostly I will use this example in most of the inferential statistics also. You know about exit polls in the sense whenever elections are going to happen, some they will be going to predict it, which company, which political party might win in that particular constituency, like that. So how the process will be done in the exit polls? Are they going to ask by going to every voter which company? I mean, sorry, I'm voting company every time. Which political party is going to win? Do you think like that? If a constituency is having 1 lakh of voters, you assume they will not go to every voter and they will not ask. They'll simply focus on few of the voters, and whatever the response they say, from that they'll be going to say that in that constituency this so and so party will win, right? That is what actually you are analyzing few persons over that entire 1 lakh. You're analyzing few persons response, and you're going to say your prediction or saying that that particular party will win in the entire constituency. Understood what is meaning of this? You are going to analyze some small part of the data and you'll say that on the entire data set, you're going to say this is the result. This is might going to happen. Best example is exit polls. You're going to only ask few of the voters in that constituency and you'll say that entire constituency result you'll be going to say that this person, this particular political party will win in that particular constituency. There you have not went for every data, not every data point or not every voter. Only few of the data points, few of the voters you have been taken the response and based on that you have been able to say the resultant on the entire constituency. That is what is the inferential statistics will do. Now tell me, which statistics are we going to use? Descriptive. Am I right? Descriptive statistics is the part which we are going to mostly focus in our data analysis course because as a data analyst, what you're going to do? You're going to find out the summary of the data and conclude the things on the data. You're not going to predict something. What happened in the previous year sales only you're going to find out in that and find out the summary of that particular last year what happened in their company. You're not going to say what will happen in the future of that particular company. That is a different job. So the descriptive statistics is the one which is useful for the data analysis person because we are the persons who are going to analyze the historical data of any company and we are going to find out the summary of the data and we are going to make some conclusions about that particular data. This many sales happened and this particular time this is what is happening. So in this particular state in this particular month average sales is this, like that you're able to say the summary of or make conclusions about your data. That is how the descriptive statistics is what is used. So when you are going to do some descriptive statistics, what are some of the key techniques you are going to follow? Okay, what kind of features you are going to or what kind of things you are going to find out as a person. So I'm going to discuss about some key techniques here now. So the key techniques here I'm going to discuss is mean, median, mode, range, uh, standard deviation, okay, and variance. These are the things coming under the key techniques of descriptive statistics. Okay, and in this one, inferential statistics, the key techniques. The key techniques in the inferential statistics. Hypothesis testing. Okay, we are also going to see this hypothesis testing. There are other tests also, P test, like Z test, T test. Different tests will be there. A and B, A/B test, chi-square test. So many other types of testings are there, but we'll focus on hypothesis testing. And also, we are going to use some other kind of techniques like performing some machine learning models. Machine learning, all the data science will come under inferential statistics. Okay, so those things will be there in the inferential statistics. So our most focus will be there on the descriptive statistics. So you should understand here when I talk about key techniques, I told mean, median, mode, and range, variance, and standard deviation. So try to understand mean, median, and mode. These three things are going to come under measure of central tendency. Okay, measure of central tendency and the range, standard deviation, variance. These three things will come under measure of dispersion. Measures of dispersion. We'll see one by one in that way. First of all, we'll discuss about measures of central tendency, which is starting with mean, median, mode, and after completing the central tendency, we are going to discuss about measures of dispersion, range, standard deviation, and variance. Once we complete both, we are also going to discuss some basics of probability related things, small concepts of probability, and we are also going to understand the types of distributions. What is meant by distribution in the sense in a column how your data has been present. That understanding of the data distributions are going to be discussed. That would be little mathematical way and little not much important, but if you understand that would be much better. Different types of binomial distribution, Poisson distribution, those kind of linear, how it is going to be like different types of distribution, some 2 to 3 types of distributions we'll understand. Then we're going to understand about hypothesis testing. Okay, so that is how the course is going to be for the statistics. Okay, so today I have explained you the complete things related to what is the types of, this is very important. So just before that is an introduction part of the statistics, why it is needed. but the types of data, what type of data we are going to handle is important. We are also going to consider the qualitative data as a categorical data also. You can just write it down, or what we can also call as categorical data. Okay, so many names are there actually, descriptive data, like that. We used to call that also. Okay, so and we have tried to understand what are the types of statistics and what we are going to use. And also, I forgot to tell you, sampling also we are going to cover. Sampling, all theoretical basis only, no practical side of showing the tools and all. Sampling in the sense we are going to have different types of sampling. Whatever you have going to understand in the differential statistic, that is actually going to be sampling technique. Okay, what are the different types of samples with examples, sampling techniques we'll understand. So that is how the course is going to be for the statistics. Okay, so today's class is going to be the first introduction class, or the first class of the statistics. So we'll stop up here for today. So in the next class we're going to start discussing about how to calculate mean, median and more. Okay, so we'll try to complete the three things if possible tomorrow, and in the next one more class we'll complete these two things so that we can next focus on the probability and sampling techniques. Clear? Anybody have any doubts?